Leaders of CC's pounds. Close cash, close call, close encounter, close up. Pounds of leaders of grams, get your dosed up. Cut this up, post up. Hey, get dosed up. This for them voted like the move and make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates for them folk that can't relate. I gotta elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb, and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in no trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that truth serum hooked directly through your veins. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch a close up, close up, close up, a close up, grams of it, tune in, liters of it, close up, pounds of it. Pounds of it, yeah, grams of it, liters of it, pounds, get you dosed up, dosed up, dosed up, dosed up, dosed up.
Here we go. It's another Monday night. Sorry I missed you guys last week, but we had a little something to take care of, but we are back. I'm definitely dosed tonight. And we don't put shooter somewhere else, right? I'm dosed. You can call me Dr. Dose damn near. All right, okay, the show is dosed up. It's Monday. We got Lab right there, and to my right.
What's going on, man? It's your boy, Big Mitch, Doobie's dad, the love doctor, all that good stuff, man. Welcome to Dosed Up.
That boy that smacking over there on there. That boy is smacking.
Nerd, man.
All right, so now that we got the intros out the way, we're going to do a little weekend recap. You know what I'm saying? It was a long weekend since the last time y'all had synced it, didn't me? But first of all, shout out to the BBG clan.
What's up?
Gang, gang, gang. We still in there, bitch. That challenge keeps going. Ain't nobody mentioned the Super Bowl no more, but my challenge is still going. I went today. I feel great. I done flipped some tractor tires, y'all. About 10 times. I've been pushing them sleds with them 45 plates on that thing. You know what I'm saying? Keep on. I might try out for the 5.
I tap in. I did go to the gym on yesterday. More cardio, you know, did a little hooping. But I will report that since Martin Luther King Day to this weekend, I've lost 16 pounds. And I had put on some crazy weight over the holidays. And yes, give it up for me.
Yeah.
Drop that weight. I can bend over and tie my shoes without being out of breath.
So it's all about dropping weight, gaining muscle. I did some cardio too. Like cardio got to be a part of this now.
What's up,
you know what I'm saying? Like I say, I feel great because we also have some people that's feeling like I've motivated them and I'm influencing them and they taking me up on the challenge too. So
health is wealth.
Oh yeah. Definitely something. Definitely you know, something that I wanna basically piggyback off of because the topic is growing old. So that's why you see me in these scrubs right here, because as you age and get older, you gotta go see a lot of people that look like this from time to time in scrubs. Sometimes they have these hats on if you're gonna have a procedure, or if they drawing blood or something similar to that. You know what I'm saying? You got physical therapists that you have to see from time to time, just depending on the situations that you're in. And a lot of us don't necessarily have plans, because who plans to be sick? But you do grow older and you do age. So maybe you might want to have a plan for that in play so that you don't become sick or grow or age with ailments. So a lot of the things that I do, you know, I work in the healthcare field, work in a hospital. So I'm around all types of cultures, all different ages. I've seen, you know, the young and I've seen the old. And in between, I've seen things, you know, that I'm concerned, like loss of your cognitive ability, you know, losing your mobility, physical mobility, strength as well, you know, sometimes sight, hearing. You know, your bones become brittle or weaker if you don't you know what I'm saying, particularly exercise or have the right diet. You know, you can have a lot of things that happen to you that they don't happen when you were younger. I remember having physical education classes. I don't know if they do that now, but I think that's very important.
Yeah.
They do?
They still do.
Oh, okay.
They got PE.
Okay. Now, well, now that they have that, I mean, but also
it's different than when
exactly
we were.
like yeah. You know, most of the time it might just be a sport now, and rather than actually.
And it's for them. I don't even think it's like if they don't
mandatory.
want to. Yeah,
It's
you know,
like
like
an
back
elective
then,
or something.
like you had to do it. You had health challenges like with the presidential challenge and all that kind of good stuff.
And then you had to do certain things to pass, like they may be like, you got to do these 10 push-ups. You got to bench press your own weight or something like that, you know. I like that too, because when you have educational courses like that are physical, a lot of times one is good for releasing extra energy. It's good for young men because they can start gauging strength. You compete and you lose, you know how to take a loss. You see what I'm saying? Without wanting to always be combative. Sports, exercises, sometimes you have to have resolutions as well if there's a particular issue or a plan, you know what I'm saying? A goal in mind. So a lot of that helps. Like I just said, if you're talking about aging, you got to have plans, goals in mind with that as well. I had a dude that was explaining to me just the way that he prayed on a daily basis helped him as he got older, because he's always down. You know how, well, he's basically from Islam. So the way that they pray actually is almost, I'm not going to say it's like yoga, but it can be. The way that they, you know, are positioned, and then the way that they have to stand down, get up and stand, you know, and sit down.
Yeah.
And he was like, as you get older, if you continuously do this shouldn't necessarily be hard for you. But I do know some people that can't. Some are our age, they can't even get in that position. Some people can't even sit Indian style. You know, and that's not a knock on anyone, you know, but these are things that I think about that I like to do. A lot of the times you lose your elasticity in your muscles or in the fibers and the tendons and things like that if you're not working them out.
Right.
If you don't continuously, it's not necessarily all about tearing and repairing as it could be to pumping blood to these, to you know, to your limbs. I'll
even tap in more to that, and I don't know if I got a couple of homeboys that are and homegirls that are trainers, like they're physical trainers and stuff too. So it affects like everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're, you know, Dose is keeping it like PG. He's right for right now. Yeah, we'll get into that too.
Yeah. Y'all didn't let me. You know, I got some toys. A toy over here too.
Oh man, the toys. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Freaky Dose.
I just show you, you know, that you can do a little something, something while I'm talking to you. This ain't, you know.
Yeah, the physical, you know, physical fitness. It you know, it goes to everything. You know what I'm saying? So if you know, as one of my homeboys would say, man, you know, and Big Shirley, you know, want to go a couple of rounds, man. You want to have your physical stamina ready, man, for all of that kind of stuff.
You want to be able to break Big Shirley back.
You want to be able to go hard in the paint, man. And for me, it's funny that you were saying that about being active. Like I became a dad at for most a later age. I had my child when I was 38. So a lot of that was on my mind. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Am I gonna be able to, like, you know, kind of run around after her? Or, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, man. So just stuff like that you gotta keep in the mind frame, you know, as far as keeping your physical health in check. But go ahead, though. So I ain't mean to.
Oh no, you continue to talk, but that one thing as far as like running, like I know people that physically can't run, and I used to like I was at the park the other day. As a matter of fact, the rec, you know what I'm saying, and just right after I worked out, and I was like, damn man, I just ran a mile. You know what I'm saying? I could do more, but you don't know your limitations if you don't try. First of all. And then it's harder when you are aging. And then you might not be able to put that type of pressure on your heart. And you won't know because you haven't, you know what I'm saying, figured out any limitations, figured out how much stamina that you have, the endurance you have. None of that. And like I tell people all the time, one of my things is it's called exercise while you're younger, but it's called rehab when you older if you don't continue to do it. But you still got to do something.
Okay.
You know.
Absolutely, man. I agree with that 100%. I did go through a rut about a year ago, and it's funny that a lot of people don't know. I work in a children's hospital too, but those works in the hospital. I work in the hospital, but it is funny. A couple of years ago, I wasn't like doing anything, like physically active, besides work. And I'm just like, well, since I'm walking around at work every day, that equates to it. But nah, man, you gotta. It's so many other things that factor into it. You gotta really like do it on your own. You definitely gotta stretch. That's one thing. You gotta stretch. You gotta keep that blood flowing. Definitely, because the side effects I had it was like last September. It was like not this past Labor Day that just passed, but Labor Day before that. So that'd be a year ago. I had to have shoulder surgery. Because I had to get these shots in my arm, and the lady was telling me about when I was getting these shots or whatever, because they were different, just kind of different kinds of shots that I had to take to work at the actual place I was working at. They lost my medical records. It's a long story, but she was like, do you exercise regularly? She was just asking me a bunch of questions, and I just want to study. I just give me the shots.
Right.
And about like a couple of weeks later, because she was like, well, maybe you shouldn't take all of them at one time. Take a couple now, come back, take some more shots. I took them all at one time because I wasn't exercising properly before, and because my blood wasn't flowing right. I had like muscles and stuff like wrap around each other. There was just some crazy shit going on with my shoulder. I had to have shoulder surgery, so it's the long term effects. You know what I'm saying? You're never too old to exercise, at all. You know what I'm saying? So don't be thinking, well, like, man, I'm old now, I can't do nothing. Man, it's very, very, very important. And like I was saying earlier, especially for men, I don't let your pride, get in the way, because it's gonna get in the way if you can't if your performance ain't up to par. That's gonna be a big thing, but we'll get back to Dose, and
man, hey, I just got me some reps in. Like I say,
Dose over here pumping iron.
I don't
man.
do no excuses. I'm showing y'all live. I can work out and do a podcast in front of you.
Yeah,
because see, excuses, man.
Right,
I don't do excuses. I do exercise. That's my motto right there. And trust me, you'll feel much better. But I do want to go down a list of some things, I touched a little bit about it, that you may end up, encountering as you age, or you want to actually try to be proactive and not necessarily having it happen to you. But there can be dementia, osteoporosis, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, loss of sight, loss of hearing, arthritis, the cognitive skills go. Your disc and stuff can start slipping in your back. You know how that goes.
Right.
You might need a hip replacement here and there, lower back pains. All of that kind of comes with the aging process, and all I can say is, like Mitch was saying, if you start stretching, you eat some of the right things, you do your cardio, do your due diligence. You have to start getting checkups as well. You're definitely going to need a physician. Actually go to the dentist too. Those things help as well. Your teeth and all of that. Those definitely have veins and things. And I have, my uncle was a dentist.
Right.
And he was telling me, like, if you have like a hole in your tooth or something that needs to be filled, he was like, that's almost like a heart attack to your mouth. So, things like that you want to be preventative. So that you don't cause other issues. Another thing that I definitely wanted to say, and to piggyback off what you were saying, Chezzy, when you said you had surgery. Okay, so it's extremely important to, either rehab once you have the shoulder, like after surgery, and do exactly either what the doctors or the physical therapist tells you to do, as well as if they give you if you can't afford to go but so many times, and so they're giving you like the minimum treatment, but you need to be doing it at home, do it at home.
Right.
And that's another reason why I kind of wanted to like implement like and get on that exercising, because if you're doing it and you're used to doing it, then when you have to do it or something like that for rehab, you still know what you're doing. And it's not like you're going to be so discouraged, like, oh man, I got to do that. You're like, oh man, I'm used to working out. Let me rehab this thing and go ahead and, and get back in the game. But if you don't, and it's already hurting you and you don't even know what you're doing, and you have to wait till the therapist to show you, then 9 times out of 10, you're not going to, have the motivation to do it on your own.
Right. Okay.
Another thing, like some people, they don't want to age because of how it may make them look. A lot of times, like as far as wrinkles or gray hair or losing hair, a lot of times when you age, it's funny because you can either gain weight and sometimes you can like shrink and kind of lose weight because you might lose your appetite.
Right.
But the metabolism slows down.
Yeah, it does.
So, I'm one of those that with the aging process, I might have a few of these silver hairs coming in or whatever. But as far as them wrinkles, my guy, I'm trying to cardio sweat, you know what I'm saying? Get my sleep, eat the right things, get these vitamins
funny, man.
in me.
Like on the lighter side of you talking about this these follicles and all of this stuff turning gray. I remember, like, for me, you know what I'm saying, and this, for me, I remember like one of the first things I was worried about was, man, if my hair started getting gray down there, like,
boy, see, you want some other shit. I see that now.
Like, what does that mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You gonna put some dark and lovely down there, something like that, something like that.
Yeah,
Some
man,
Beijing and
hey,
shit in your
bruh.
private area, something. That's what you want, my
man,
guy.
I was worried, man. I was like, man, the grays started popping up down there. But nah, man, it's a part of Asian, man. One thing I wanted to tap into, and I ain't look at your sheet, but one thing I did want to tap in on too, as far as I was talking about my diet earlier. Most of y'all are probably not like me, man. I be on demon time. I hate water. Like, I do not like water at all. Like, I hate to drink water.
Right.
But this little journey that I've been on lately has definitely shown me the importance of drinking water.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta get that water in, man. Like, it ain't no joke. I feel so much better now that I, pretty much get all of the bad stuff out of the house, period. You know what I'm saying? Which was a good way for me to just, there ain't nothing in the house to drink but water.
Right,
now.
right.
So I had to do it like that. But water is like so extremely important, man. It's like the oil for your body, like an oil change for your body, like daily, man. So get that water in, man. If you don't get nothing else in, get you some water in.
It's hard for most people to drink water.
Drink more than a liter.
Yeah.
That's what
Why do you think it's so hard? Because like I hate water.
Because people get used to addicted to the sugar and the preservatives and stuff that's in drinks and juices and stuff. Even if they say 100% real juices, 9 times out of 10 they got preservatives in them because they got to sit on that shelf until you buy it. So a lot of people get used to that stuff. And it's hard to break that habit. It's hard and then when you taste water, it just tastes like
I had a sugar crash after the first couple of weeks. When I stopped drinking them, my body was just like feeling terrible.
Yeah,
because it was trying to pull off of that sugar.
You were joning.
I was joning, man. I was joning. I wanted a soda or some Minute Maid juice.
You was joning real hard, and it's hard to break the habit of just drinking, sodas and stuff like that. It's hard to break that habit. People don't know how quickly they can get addicted to those things, juices and sodas. And what I've learned, what I've done is, why I drink so much water is because I try to, like right now, I drink Propel as water just to have a little flavor, or I might put lemon or something. Sometimes you just got to squeeze some lemon in it to get by. When I used to work out all the time, back in the day, and what I noticed for me and my body type is I could eat anything when I used to work out all the time because I used to work out 2 hours a day every day.
Oh yeah.
When I used to work out for them 2 hours a day, cardio, weightlifting, then back to cardio once for my cool down, I could eat anything I want to, and I lost like 30 pounds within 3 or 4 months just doing that. And I still ate pizza, I still ate sandwiches, I still ate everything that I normally would eat. It's just that I added that exercise in there for that 2 hours a day, and it really helped in me losing the weight. You know what I'm saying? I actually felt better. I had more stamina. It was just, you know what I'm saying? I was on demon time when it came to that sex. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I ain't had no shortness of breath.
Y'all damn for that. Hey, so this is how I actually got off all them fruit juices and stuff like that, and was strictly water. Water was my go-to. So if you super active and you doing all this training, or you do a lot of construction work, a lot of back and forth, and you sweating in the summertime, you do not want to waste your last on some apple juice, because as soon as you done with it, about less than 5 minutes later, your ass gonna be like, God damn, I'm thirsty. And you just drank something, and that's a wrap. Plus, stuff like that, when you are active, if you drink some apple juice, you might actually pass out or get a cramp, because none of it is, it's not nutrients in that, to be honest with you. Exactly. So it's not going to hydrate you like you should be hydrated. So with that being said, I don't think you want to pass out a couple of times out there in the sun. That ain't no good feeling. And cramping up because you just drank some juice and then you don't have any water, you know what I'm saying, to go back down, and now your mouth all dried out. That ain't a good feeling either. So I'm like, man, damn the sugars, you know. And it's like you start, when you want to do something like achieve a certain goal with the way you look, you got to treat your shit like it's a car. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Your body, like, if you want the best performance, you're not finna go get that downgraded gas. You're going to get that premium petrol.
That sugar is retention, man.
Exactly.
Let me ask y'all a question. Since we on the health kick, we talking about health, and we talking about things that you drink. You guys used to, I don't know if y'all still do, y'all drink beer. How do you think that affects your body?
Oh, true. Oh, my bad. I'll let you go ahead.
Hey, man.
I don't know if y'all do now.
Here's the
y'all
thing.
on the health thing.
Here's the thing. Beer gonna bloat you. You're not gonna be coordinated. Like, beer does something different than the liquor though. Like, really? I could drink some beer and go do some benches and shit, but my focus after a while, you know.
Right.
Man, lad, I'm gonna tell you. So he knows, like, I could put away some beer, like bad. Like, when the pandemic was happening and I was working from home, man, I literally probably was drinking like eight a day. Well, I mean, and it's, you know, they don't have nothing to do with my job now, but I was drinking like 8. It's a different job.
Right.
I was drinking at least eight a day. A day. Like, literally just sitting there, pop.
Right.
Over an 8-hour shift.
It was unconscious though. It was
I mean, I'm saying, and I'm still able to perform, you know what I'm saying? But just like he says, man, for me, like, I ain't want to do nothing else. After I drunk them beers, all I want to do was eat. That was it.
I've never really been a beer drinker. I've never really been an alcohol drinker at all. So
and
I don't.
It blow, like he said, it blow. That's another thing. Like, I had to cut down on the beer. More so, I drink, because I drunk sodas too. So the sodas really got the weight off, but definitely the beer it played a factor in me, like really bloating up. I think it slows down. You know what I'm saying? I think it slows
stay in your gut
libido.
too,
Yeah, it stay in your gut. So
man.
I think it slows down a lot of stuff. So I was like, yeah, let me cut this down from 8 to maybe 1 if I drink. You know, on the weekend, I might pop out, drink 2 or 3, but like during the week, I don't hardly like drinking any beers.
Lab, it comes to a time I'm like, do I want this beer right here, or do I have to flip this tire, this tractor about, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
About 10 times because of this. You can have that beer, bro.
Right.
I'm trying to tell you.
Man,
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you guys another question. This goes to this. I'm answering too. When it comes to what was I going to ask you? I asked you about beer. It was something else. I lost my train of thought now. I'm sorry.
Are you good?
It'll come back to me.
So while you on that, maybe I might trigger something. But as you age, please, if you think you need some assistance, if you think you need a tool like a walker, get one. You know what I'm saying? Use it. Use your cane. You might need a hearing aid. You might need some Depends. I'm just saying. I mean, and that shit ain't really no laughing matter, because glasses. You know, you do have people glasses too. But you do have people in the hospital, you know what I'm saying, they can't necessarily go. So you got bedpans and other things there for them. So yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about. It's being serious. You may actually need some Depends. And don't feel bad about it. Don't have such of an ego that you can't get the what you need. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna be without and harm yourself and probably age quicker just because you got some kind of knock up or your ego won't allow you to be helped.
Shan says glasses.
Yeah, that's what Chezzy just said. You may need some
some
compression items though. You know, for your ankles or your feet, stuff like that. To compress might help with the circulation. Wheelchairs, ramps, like how can I say railings. Yes, I do have. Okay, so I did put that on there. But yeah, you need those kind of things to make accessible for yourself from time to time. If you know that your knees are going, try not to have a 2-3 story house. Get a ranch style house. You know what I'm saying? You have to think about these things. You might want to downgrade as you get older. If you have that big house now that you like, that's like a mansion, but you got to go up all these stairs and things like that. Start thinking about that a little bit later on. Like, how can you access that?
But on the level that we're talking about, and Shan says she wears compression stockings now, and I'm going to hit on this what you said, Shan, about trying to stay cool. I think a lot of us are scared to grow older. So a lot of times we don't mentally say to ourselves, I'm getting older now. I say this now because I'm 54. I'm not that far away from 60. I say to myself now, man. You sit back and you think about, man. I'm in my 50s now. I gotta slow down, but we don't want to slow down. We feel like we could do it, but our body is like, nah, you can't do that. So you can't do what you do at 34, at 54. You get what I'm saying? Man. So a lot of us are. I don't want to say scared to grow older, but unconsciously we can't be.
Why can't we do that?
We can't need that walker. We can't need that compression stockings.
How come you can't do? I was doing this in my 20s. I'm doing it right now in my 40s.
Well, I'm not talking about the exercise part. I'm just talking about the stuff you just mentioned that we might need to assist us to help us to exercise better. We might feel like, no, I don't need no compression stockings to walk up and down the street. Come on, I do that all, you know what I'm saying? And in reality, we do need, like, I don't need no glasses to see, but you can't see nothing. You get what I'm saying?
Lit.
You can't see nothing. And those unconsciously we think about, we don't, we that's why sometimes we resist those things that you just mentioned, because we tell ourselves, I don't need that. I don't need that.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's the thing. I don't need
believe it or not, which is funny, but like, see, I assess myself as I age. Most people don't. They may not. But you will be assessed if you have to go into a particular living facility, because you might be a liability. And when they assess you, they will see, if you're fall prone, or what type of medications you on, what do the side effects do to you. You see what I'm saying? Do you need to have a sitter with you? Can you make it to the bathroom or not? Like, you have loose bowels, things like this. Things that we don't think about when you're younger, or things that you may think would be funny if your peer had it. You see what I'm saying? But so you can't fathom, like you were saying, when you're older, that may happen to you.
Right.
But it can. You know what I'm saying? And then what do you do? Or what do you do when you have a particular something that happens to you? You know what I'm saying? Naturally wise, like a stroke. Are you guys familiar with the symptoms of it?
Right.
Man,
because they show us that in the healthcare field.
It's crazy you said that. As far as, you know what I'm saying, like diagnosis and stuff like that, man. Like I'm one for it. I mean, it's not, I'm not saying to do it to self-diagnose yourself, but if you feel something out of whack with your body, check on that. You know what I'm saying? Like any little, especially the older you get, really, even if you're younger and you're watching, man, any little thing that's out of place, that you feel like,
check on that.
Man, check on it. I'm telling you, because definitely, I know for a fact, I know a couple of people who've had blood pressure issues, and they'll be like, yeah, man, I just had a little, pain right here in my chest or whatever, and then it just fully blew up, because they were just like, well, I'm gonna just drink some water, or I'm gonna just do this, or I'm gonna just do that.
I had an issue like that where I got real lightheaded, real dizzy, and I was like, man, so we have a blood pressure checker here, and my blood pressure was, I was like, man, I don't feel good. So I did go to the emergency room. My blood pressure was real high.
Yeah.
And then they kept me there for like 11 hours to make sure, I was good. Yeah. But, your body will tell you, but your body is also it heals itself for a lot of things as well. But it will tell you, go get checked out, go see. I'm not a big proponent of taking a lot of meds.
Yeah,
I'm really not that big of a proponent of that, because even though it might be helping one thing, it may cause problems with something else.
Yep.
So I try to stay away from that, but I know that sometimes you need them in order to help you
Stabilize.
get through the day, to stabilize yourself. So I'm not saying I don't do them or whatever. It takes me a little bit of time, just me personally, to start taking certain things on a constant basis, because I'm just like, man, what is this going? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just never been that type of person to just take a bunch of meds all the time.
That too, and I know for a fact. I mean, I had a really close cousin of mine passed from it a couple of years ago. And I don't know if we was gonna get into this before the pod was over, but stress. The stress is like the number one killer of black men.
Of black men, yeah.
Like that's crazy. Like literally, like. It ain't black on black violence. It ain't, what you might think it is. It's stress. We be out here stressed.
Every day.
All
day.
We be out here. You gotta find a way to manage that stress or get rid of the stress.
I say hobbies. I always tell guys that I hang out with, man, get you a hobby, man. Get you something that you can just step away from everybody, your girl, your children, everywhere, and just close the door and just zone out. And I try to do that with DJing, but you do need a hobby. People don't realize how much hobbies will make them feel just a little bit better.
Yeah, something for yourself. I mean, like, even if it's video games, just something to get your mind off of that everyday grind, man, because, man, brothers be stressed, man.
So here's something to watch for as you age and get a little older. Inclines in the environment of where you're walking, declines as well, steps, uneven surfaces, and slippery surfaces and obstacles, because all of that plays a part. Also, look for telltale signs sometimes, like the person may not want to tell you what they can and can't do. So, like, if you see someone struggling to stand up, like from a seated position, if they got to reach out for something to try to get up, then that's a sign that they got lower body or lower back issues, or the lower body is weak if you can't just, press up on your own. And I'm telling the truth from experience and seeing it, you know what I'm saying? And some of you may have experienced it just simply from an injury. You could have twisted an ankle or broken a foot or something like that and had to get off of it for a while. And you just saw how difficult it was to do something without that being there. So in aging, you can also break a lot of bones. I've seen it firsthand. That's why we're having this conversation, because I'm actually living through what I'm talking about. And you don't want to see Mom Dukes with a broken, wrist that you got to have plates in it now because you're too old to technically, heal it properly. Then it's going to forever hurt you because you don't have those years. You see what I'm saying? So you basically going to be feeling the pain till it's up. And there another thing that you have to take into consideration. You can break your hip and be to the point where you have aged, where your body and your heart can't take the surgery. And now what do? You see what I'm saying? Seriously, these are things I'm telling you because I've seen it. I ain't telling you because I'm reading things. It. That's what I'm saying. I ain't telling you because I'm just thinking of some shit up out of the blue. Nah, this real life shit that your boy had to sit down and deal with and understand. And then another thing that you have to understand too is what affects you as you get older affects your family as well. Because I think I'll start with the word of the day then too now, which is gregarious, which basically means a very sociable type of person. So as you get older, you should become a little bit more gregarious than more, how they say, old and bitter, because you need a support group and recluse and things like that. But when you join a senior center and you see that there's a younger personal trainer giving you guys aerobics and exercises and you with your peers, that shit, like, it light up my life. So I know it lights up their life. You know what I'm saying? Have a circle that they can, and things and activities that you can do as you age, or else you're just going to be sitting at home on the couch, maybe medicated, and these medications have side effects that make you lethargic, which is kind of why I emphasize exercising a little bit because that's getting blood circulating, oxygen into you. That's pumping probably the medication through you to the point where you are active now and you're not just sitting there letting all the side effects zonk you out, as they say. You know,
we're at a technology age too, where they make it so easy. Like you count your steps. You can monitor your heart rate with all these smart devices and stuff like that. So you know, a lot of people turn it into like physical fit challenges. You know, people be like, "Did you get your steps in today?" And you know, all of that good stuff. So I mean, it's it's other inclusive things.
Time your watch, like if you and those who's doing exercise together, y'all doing stuff. You can time your watch. It's what he tell you how many steps he did.
Yeah. So
he's like, man, you only did 5 steps.
It's funny, y'all. It's funny you said that because I used to Samsung challenge this person, and so I literally see that man moving and be like, oh shit, okay, bet. Right. So I'm gonna tell you, I used to do this thing where I know he sleep. I'm up at 4 a.m, up and down the hall, boom, 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 boom at the house. I'm like, all up and down, getting all my steps. So by the time that man wake up, I'm almost at the flag. And he's like, what the hell did you just do? So yeah, that'd be funny, but it's also helping you too, you know?
Slick says if you lose your core muscles, you can't move at all. And she's speaking from experience.
Oh yeah, okay.
Are y'all scared to be put to sleep for a procedure to be done?
Yep.
Yes.
Like I'm very scared of that.
Yeah. I really don't want nobody cutting on me.
Well, I don't want to be put to sleep because I'm afraid I won't wake up.
I was just about. It's funny, Slick brought it up. I was just about to bring up, man. It's important, you know, working in the hospital. It's important to know any anesthesias that you're possibly allergic to.
Right.
Food that you're allergic to.
Right.
Man, you can be allergic to them pumping the IV in your, you know, all of this stuff.
Right.
You kind of got to, you know, hopefully know or be cognizant of.
But you won't.
I don't want to be put to sleep ever.
Do you think we know it if we haven't really been through it? Like, thank.
That's why we're talking about
thank
this.
the Almighty. I've never really been in the hospital for anything. I don't want to jinx myself. I'm not bragging.
They got to.
I'm just saying.
No, we ain't nobody bragging up in this bitch.
Bragging. I'm just saying.
Fingers crossed, toes crossed, eyes.
So I don't know what I would be allergic to.
They got to figure out another way because I'm not. Don't put me under no anesthesia.
Colonoscopy. I supposed to have one.
Oh,
and I'm like, and they's like, you got to be put to sleep, and I'm like. Ain't no way y'all can do it while I'm woke.
I'm trying to thug it out.
Hey y'all, hey man, with all this technology, man, I'm like, come on now. I don't think they got to do that intrusive shit no more though.
I don't think they should.
Hey, you know what? They can't really just take your.
I
thought that they could take. Well, I'm gonna be like, hey man, take my blood and figure it out.
It's not.
I'll donate some blood.
Yeah, it's not.
You might be high off of that bitch.
Right.
Putting your hand. It's not. They ain't putting. I don't think they do that.
They not lubing the fingers.
I don't think they do.
I hope they not.
Yeah.
Oh, I Bush, man, look here, bro. Take my chances somewhere. But okay. So with that being said, I can go on here to the thought of the day is your body does not have to give your age away.
Very true.
While we're aging, speaking of that, yeah, and not bragging, but I think I can kind of fall in that category right now. I love it when they be like, "Damn, boy, you got a 21-year-old daughter. When did you have her? When you were 5?" I'm like, probably.
Right.
But you know, and they be like, "Damn, I didn't know you were that old." And I'm like, man, cool that down. You know, but so with that being said, okay, let me get on.
Why don't we embrace? I mean, like for me, I kind of embrace getting older, just really kind of for about the fact of what you just said. Like, you know, I'm still can move around, still look pretty decent for my age. People, man, like, you know, well, I don't know, I can't speak on my Caucasian women out there, but you know, black women hate to be called grandma.
Yeah, like they won't be called anything but grandma.
They hate being called grandma. It's a Gigi or
grandma.
Yeah, everything.
Grandma
man.
is not in the equation.
What is a grandma? That's what that is.
Why don't we just embrace getting? You know, I thought that's the goal.
Right?
No. They want you want to be forever young, man. Like you don't want the problems that come with aging, bro. If you don't age, if you don't take care of yourself, man. That shit is miserable.
That's
bro.
what I'll tell you about actually being
poked and
scared
prodded.
to age.
Yeah, you in a cold ass environment when you in the hospital. You being poked and prodded, tested, and you got to pay for it all. And you might go in there and not come out. and have to stay for a while, man. Don't nobody want that.
I'm probably
And
like one of
the
the
food ain't what you be.
I'm
wanting,
probably like
man.
one of the few, man. I joke about it all the time. Like even when I was playing basketball Sunday, I joke about it a little bit, but getting called and now don't call me dad, but I'm okay. You can call me.
okay.
I get OGs. I can take that. They don't be calling me no dad and no damn unc. They be like, what up, G, big dog or something. But
they call people like 35, 40 and they call me.
Tell them, boy, I had to go through a lot to get that unk status, buddy.
Right.
So
hey, I
look,
get chief
you
and
remember
OG. I take that unc. I be kind of like,
just not
take
dad.
your
Don't
little
call me
ass on
dad.
somewhere,
Yeah,
nephew.
but I'm cool. with Unc,
Pops.
man. I embrace that, man. Yeah.
You do. All right, so let's get to a universal law real quick.
Okay.
Personal return. So that's kind of simply, it's really simplified. Personal return is basically like what you putting out. You know what I'm saying? Is what you will get in return. But the personal part, like, I believe that's kind of like linked with like the golden rules. When it's personal, like if you want someone to treat you in a particular way, then obviously personally you should be treating them in what you want in return, as opposed to just throwing anything out there, but you want something in return that favors you. That doesn't work. That's not how the laws go.
Right. Okay.
So that's how we break that one down. Then we have a law of activity. Oh, and hey, aging ain't necessarily an activity, but exercising is.
Right. Right.
You see what I'm saying? And the law of activity. What are you actively doing to get the result that you desire?
Right.
And that's pretty much what that is. If you want to look like an athlete, but you don't want to put in the training that an athlete goes through. You want to get under the knife or something. Well, there's a consequence for that too, because technically you weren't active to get that particular body you wanted. You were active to go to the bank account. And so now how do you maintain what you just got?
Right.
With no activities. All right. The last one would be the law of denial. That kind of goes with this as well. Like if you're aging, which is natural, you can't be denying it. Like how you were saying why people don't want to be called grandma and this and that. But if you're a grandma, that's what the hell you are. Don't deny it.
Right.
Live it.
Embrace it. Right.
Embrace it, man. Embrace it because
don't disgrace it.
But didn't I just say your body don't have to give your age away?
That's true.
You could be a sexy ass grandmama. You just so happen to have a granddaughter. That don't mean that you gotta look like the crypt keeper.
Right.
That don't mean you gotta look like you know what I'm saying, shriveled. Unless that's what you brought on yourself.
I definitely know some people, man, and of course it's the old adage that black don't crack. But I know a lot of people who if I didn't know them, I probably would think that their child is like their brother, or they literally like still look that young. So yeah, you definitely got a point with that, man. You don't have to necessarily look your age.
Slick says, I've had several surgeries and God has seen me through each of them. Anesthesia isn't that bad.
No.
The eye is great until you wear it off.
Hey, I'm finna tell you, because what you don't want to do, you don't want to go through the procedure feeling everything, because you probably may unalive yourself from shock.
Right. But the thing that be scaring me about anesthesia is it don't take, and I'm feeling everything, but I can't say nothing.
Boy. Oh, that's something bad. You need to be able to move something.
Right, but I can't.
Yeah.
Blink your eyes or something. Hey, I'm gonna figure out something to do.
Right?
Hey, I'm gonna be like, hey, whoever, yeah. If you see me do this, if I just.
But you think about them type of things, and I be like, man, that's one of the other reasons why I don't want to ever be put asleep like that. I just can't.
Too vulnerable of a state for me, man.
Yeah. Too vulnerable.
So when we get older or as we age, a lot of times when I speak and talk to my elders, I see that a little bit more spiritual to a degree. Sometimes more religious. I mean, just depending on what their background is. But those thoughts basically come to the forefront more. And it actually, no matter what it is, whatever they believe in, their belief is being strengthened most of the time. Obviously you have to think about your will and your testament, and whether or not, if you want to be operated on or resuscitated. Some of those things come into play that you may have to think about. And that's serious, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to just not have a plan or anything in play when you have to deal with certain situations where, you may not make it through when you go. I have a story, I've seen it. I'm gonna tell it the best way I can without necessarily being flagged. But at my job back in the day, I saw an aging couple. So they were older and elder. And you could tell that they've been married for I don't know how long. Just a sweet, sweet relationship, man. I admired it. The other one of them was going to have a procedure. And so the other one just gently kissed her on the forehead and be like, I'll see you when you come out, baby.
Right.
That's the end of that story.
Okay.
All I'm going to say. And when I saw people scattering all around and you could feel the vibe in that air, I looked at that older man and I just dropped my head for him. Because I already know you don't expect that at all. And what you going like it just you see these things. And these kind of things make me be like, yeah, when you ask yourself, do you want to be put under for a procedure, or you ask yourself, are you prepared for certain things? That's why we're having this conversation. And you never know what can happen with your health.
That's true.
On any given day. At least you want to have resources or an idea of maybe what to do. Seriously. I mean, don't just take it like the person that sold you whatever your prescription is at CVS is going to make it all better for you because they told you to read the pamphlet or something like that. Actually listen to the physicians, listen to the therapists, listen to the trainers, listen to people. If you can find something like go on YouTube and find certain things. You can go on WebMD and things like this, or you could take a trip to a senior center and look, because actually I think you can join when you're like 50 or 52ish or something similar to that. Yeah. In the 50s, that's when you're considered to be that.
I think.
55. Okay.
I highly recommend that too. I don't know necessarily if it's anybody in that demographic that's watching, but if you have parents that are in that position, definitely try to get them involved in the senior centers. The ones that I know of are like great, man. Like they go on trips.
Yeah. Activities.
Man. They be like, they do stuff. So
Yeah,
you definitely want to try to get them involved in activities like
people
that.
don't know how much outside can just make you feel bad.
Man.
Like just going, I'm like, you ain't got
you
ain't no destination. Just like sometimes for me, just going to the store and coming back, make me feel a little bit better. Just getting outside, maybe rolling the window down for about 2 minutes.
The air, man.
Yeah,
that fresh air.
Yeah.
That fresh air, that sunshine, like the weather's been like great. Like lately, I found myself like spending more time just not even necessarily doing nothing. I just sit outside.
Right. And sit on the porch.
Just be outside. Yeah.
Depending on your mobility capabilities, like I say, you might have to plan certain things. Like if you want to be on a plane, those are tight, close quarters. If you want to go to a concert, if you're trying to go to a game and you have all these elevated steps and things, maybe you might want to, if you feel like you really want to take a person, or if you feel like, you want to go, but you have a particular ailment or an injury or something like that, man, know the scope of what you're getting yourself into, the layout, how to get in and get out. It's difficult for some people to get into their cars. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times it will be difficult to get into that seat when you're at that basketball or football game or something. Or it's difficult to get great granddad, wherever you want to go, and in the timely manner that you want, based off of what they are physically capable of doing. You might not have the car space for the wheelchair that you may need.
That's true.
You never know. You got to figure these things out. You might. Do you have a backup plan if the motorized wheelchair go down or something similar to that?
Right.
And another thing that I noticed too is like using a regular wheelchair. You got to get used to that. That's gonna take upper body strength and arm strength. You know what I'm saying? And I know with no core strength, that's difficult. I'd be like, man, if you can't really walk and move, and how you gonna roll yourself around too? And then you have to start understanding, when do you get the assistance? When do you just don't do anything anymore?
Right.
Like, I'm gonna figure out, like, and you may have to have your relatives figure out, hey, you can't drive anymore. Just sit down somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Or hey, You may think you can, but you can't walk. You've fallen, let's say 6 times this month.
Right.
So it's like, we don't want it 50-50 that each time you stand up, you may fall, because then you may end up having an emergent situation.
Yeah, nobody wants to give up their independence. That's the hardest thing to do, is to give up your independence when you're getting older. Being able to get up and go out the door and drive where you want to go, or walk around, walk to the store and make you dinner and stuff. Those things are very difficult, no matter what age you are. I think that's why a lot of people have a hard time dealing with it. Slick says you better go visit those old folks home, the senior citizens, because you said all of them not great.
No,
most of them is a money grab. So she suggests you go visit them before you just hook.
Do your due
sign your
diligence.
parents up for, do your due diligence on those. But
try to keep them around you actually as much as you can.
Right.
I mean, and if it's a situation where they would be better off with some assistance, don't look at it like the finances. If you can financially afford it, do that. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, like, you start getting up into the age and whether or not the ailment is worth what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Or worth the stress, worth the finances. And it's important, like I say, like, as I get older, I'm going to have these talks with my daughter, and I might tell her, hey, man, if I'm ever up under and I'm draining things, like, and if they got to cut limbs off and shit like that, man, pull it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be, you see what I'm saying? I don't care what you think. This is what I feel like. This is what you know what I'm saying? And that is what it is. But if you don't have that talk, imagine them having to think of it while you can't. Let them know.
I got a question. So we on this health thing, and this is something that came up earlier. I didn't even know this is divine intervention. It's for both y'all. It's for love, Doctor too, mostly. But I saw a video today where a guy was saying that if you can't, that people who work out at the gym and eat healthy and live a healthy lifestyle need to date somebody the same way as healthy and live a healthy lifestyle, because if not, it's going to be very difficult to maintain that relationship, because that person that may not be healthy, may not work out, may not eat healthy, may sabotage you and your health and wellness growth. What do you guys think about that?
All right, so I say this is definitely what I got to say on that, because I'm kind of at them crossroads right now. Okay, so me, it's like this. If you genuinely care for someone, then what they're doing, if it's not harmful to you and doesn't hinder you, so be it. You don't have to work out. Don't complain when I do. Yep. You don't have to necessarily exercise. Don't stop me from doing it. If I want to talk about it every day, don't tell me or call me a health nut because I want to talk about something that I do every day, but yet you want to talk about, let's just say, you cooking all the time or something, and I don't do that, but I got to listen to that. So my thing is, find a balance. But I will say this, it's better when your partner does do those things, and it's in tune with
somebody if they didn't? Like, say
depending on how good they look and what kind of mentality they got and where they at, you know what I'm saying, in their life.
Man. I'm the type drag your ass along. Like, look, we're doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't ask for much,
right?
But we need to be on the same accord when it comes to that.
Now, I'm gonna tell you why I learned not to necessarily go for that per se, because. All right, let's say if you got somebody and they do work out, but then y'all start challenging each other. You want them to do some shit. They don't want to do the shit. It start getting out of hand.
Right.
Okay, she don't want to work out today, but she normally do, and you do. Now you go, oh, man, you stopped me from doing this and that. The whole point is this. No matter what you do, your insignificant other's supposed to support it regardless if they do it or not, if it's not harmful to you.
Right, right.
You could like to play cards and spades, and they don't. What you gonna be like? Shit, you don't never want to play spades. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I'm willing to give and take on that, because working out ain't for everybody, bro.
Right.
And okay, now what I've done is I've narrowed it down to just women that work out. Now your attitude got to be right. Your job got to be something maybe that I like. You know what I'm saying? It's still other things. The working out ain't the end all be all. You just physically up in that bitch. You might look fine.
Me, and you know what I'm saying, a specific person that I date. I just give an example. It's a happy medium. You know, they did their workout. I did my workout. The happy medium was we took a walk together like every day.
Okay.
So we're going to do something,
right?
Unless we're physically unable, unless we're sick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just you know, I ain't gonna take it too far into saying they gotta have all this, and that together, but we're gonna do something. I think that's a core element of being in a relationship is some kind of health. You know what I'm saying? Drive together, because normally we're gonna eat the same thing,
right.
You know, that particular night. So we're gonna incorporate at least you know what I'm saying, a little half a mile walk or something. Get some kind of exercise in together.
See, maybe I should have reiterated. I train. This ain't no easy shit.
Right,
so I
right.
know I'm not finna put nobody through what I go through. And then I've been there, man. I've seen my mom tell me for years what she was gonna do. You see what I'm saying? And when you really about something, what you gonna be like, man, mom, I don't wanna hear that shit. You said you finna work out this time. You know, like, and then you get upset because you really want the best for them. So I just be like, when you ready, let's go ahead and do it. Like, because what you gonna do ain't really gonna, what you lifting ain't gonna cut nothing over here.
Okay.
So, but yeah, bro. I mean, you know,
People in the comments was like, nah, they got to work out if I work out, because I don't want them sabotaging me. I don't want them discouraging me. So this men and women were saying it. They was like, nah, if I work out, they got to work out too. I can't. Then, you know, they got into the whole, well, because they don't work out, they going to be fat. They going to want to eat. And I'm healthy and skinny. And, you know, got a six-pack. Who wants to be with somebody fat and I'm skinny? You know, just,
now
they got this that realm of stuff. But I just thought it was an interesting question. And
It's a great question.
You know,
and it ain't no right or wrong. It's not a right or wrong answer to that. It's just, to me, I feel like that's a part of, you know, that should be a part of. I can't imagine myself, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, like, I definitely don't work out as strenuous as hard as those. But whatever I'm doing, I can't imagine myself going and breaking no sweat, and then I come back to the house and the person sitting on the couch, you know, eating ice cream and bonbons and shit. You know what I'm saying?
What if she fine though, and she ain't got to do nothing? It's just the genetics.
I still, man, you know what I'm saying? Eye for an eye, boy. We both.
But that goes
you
with
be like, if I gotta do it, you gotta do it.
We gotta.
I think that goes with anything though. Like with me, I've been DJing the whole time, and when I was married, my wife wasn't into it. You know, it wasn't no, and you know, she didn't understand why I was downstairs, you know, in the studio for 4-5 hours a night or whatever.
But I'm sure you invited her to come and see what you was, you know.
After a while, I stopped though.
Yeah.
But you know, because it was just
sometimes
like it was just talking. Sometimes you just want to be. But you know, she didn't understand that. She didn't understand. Well, man, why you downstairs 5 hours? You don't want to be around me? No, it's just that when you into something.
Man, you
just
know
into
what?
It. Time just fly by when you having fun.
I will say this: I can't stand for nobody to be in the kitchen with me when I'm cooking. So
okay.
I feel I do feel you on that. I don't want nobody in there when I'm cooking at all, ever.
See, my thing is, I do things for reasons that I want to do them for.
Right.
So I'm gonna do some shit I know you not gonna do, but then most of the time I'm gonna intimidate you. If I want you see what I'm saying? Because you're going to be like, man, I've literally put some people, they couldn't do it no more. Like, I hurt them. They don't want to work out with me no more. Because I'm doing this shit. They be like, boy, where the hell you learn how to do this at? And then they try it and they be like, boy, I ain't fucking around with those no more in them weights. Now, I don't need my old lady saying nothing like that. So, and I'm intense with what I do. I mean, you know, I had my daughter come out there with me one time. And so I had these buckets. And I'm like, walking with the buckets and shit, and I'm like, you ain't gonna get nothing? She's like, no, I'm fine. I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what I look like, get you a goddamn bucket to walk with me. You know what I'm saying? Nah, so I'm like, oh, okay, you know, you might can record me now. See, I'll find a use for you. Record the workout. Yeah, that's what she could do.
Right.
But the whole thing too is, with the way you doing it though, Mitch, you stay in shape, she gonna eventually want to anyway.
True.
Cause like, nobody wants to be left behind.
Yeah,
you look like you supposed to be in men's health, and they look like 600-pound life. You know what I'm saying? This shit's not gonna balance out, and they're gonna be like, you gonna be
all the women looking at me.
Yeah. While you looking at the food,
all the women.
Yeah.
I'm getting the vegetables. From your fruit section. Everybody over there trying to see what I'm getting.
Yeah. And then that might make them be like, you know what? Let me go ahead and match that.
Right.
You know, and then you make them see the joy in it. You make them see like, oh, you ain't got time to get that. Running to go get this. Running to get that. But you sure got a lot of energy when you clocked out. Yeah, some exercise.
And I know what I was going to ask you guys earlier. And I when you like say you get rid of something out your diet, you don't eat candy or you don't eat. I find myself like I don't eat I used to eat chocolates and stuff all the time. I don't eat that stuff anymore. But I noticed that when I get angry or when I get anxious or when I just feel bored, I'll be like, well, let me get something. And I have to tell myself, like, if I'm at the store buying something, I have to tell myself, oh, I don't need that. I don't eat that no more. Do you guys find yourself like you guys say y'all don't drink beer that much? And like, do you like when you just having a day, you like, man, cold beer show be good right now.
comfort food, comfort drink, man.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not necessarily.
But that was why I said what I said earlier about like out of sight, out of mind. Like I would just buy in bulk and just have like beer for days. Just replaced it with a case of water.
Right.
So, this how I be. It only took a few times to step up in that motherfucker off of some Jack Daniels and try to run on that treadmill and try to have these plates and do all of this, man. And I was like, you know what? I'm wasting my time in here. I feel like garbage. And I really want, so nah, I'm not, I'm watching what I do to myself now. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and to be honest with you, if you continuously age and drink, man, you start having headaches, especially like I've just eliminated anything cheap. It's got to be top shelf. And I'm like, man, why am I spending this much just for this shot? You know what I'm saying? Just to have some alcohol that won't give me a headache. The alcohol ain't good as it is.
Right.
And so, I just have to start coming to my senses as I start aging. And you got to understand what you did when you were younger with that ain't necessarily what you need to be doing when you older. Right. Now, what you did when you were younger, when you were jogging and you were exercising, you could try that now. But all them substances and vices, something got to go, bro.
The recoveries the next day from nights of alcohol, man, are at this age is... it's like the worst, man.
Right.
So, yeah, I ain't trying to be on the toilet.
And you know what I figured out? Another thing I noticed when I was working out, I had to adjust to myself. When I used to go to the gym and work out. A lot of times people go to the gym and they start working out, and then they get discouraged because you look at all the people that's already fit and they already working out, and then you
come to my
yourself
school
by them, and you go, man, I ain't gonna never get to that. But what I had to learn for myself is I start, and then that's what happens when you start lifting 39, 200 pounds trying to get, thinking you're going to look, and it's not that case. I had to reset myself when I went to the gym. I started doing cardio first. I started riding that bike. Ride that bike for 30 minutes, go lift weights for 30 minutes. And then once as time went by, I started being able to be on the bike for an hour, start doing this and rolling machines and stuff. And I noticed that I started losing the weight. But I think people get overwhelmed with that.
My coach, man, he gave me like one of the best pieces of advice when I started working out when I was older. He was always talking about how people are constantly looking in the mirror and only got their phone up, you know what I'm saying, while they working out. And he's like, who you working out for?
Right.
He was just like, you not trying to necessarily get your body. He said, get your body the way you feel comfortable.
Right.
He was like, trying to live up to, somebody else's body. You don't know what else that person may be doing to get their body that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So get your body to where you feel comfortable.
There's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So another thing, I'm like this. One, I usually work out in something like this, like a sweatshirt. So you don't need to be, this is for me. Like he said.
Right.
Then two, it's like, man, I'm not looking at that person as, oh wow, look at them, I'm trying to get like that. No, I'm looking at the fact that however many times I come in here, my overall goal, I'm looking at me down the line, not you. And then to just to give you the heads up, if you feel like, if you're around people like that when you work out, and if you just wanted to gauge yourself, just get around people that don't work out, and then look at you, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, I can see what I'm doing now. I mean, not that that's what I'm doing, but that just like you around people that work out and you can tell, get around some that don't. And you'll be like, oh yeah, he winded or whatever. Or just do things that you like to do and challenge someone that may be in your circle. And then if that's what they do. Like I got friends that are personal trainers, and I'm glad I do now. Cause I'm like, with them, they not gonna trip. If I'm like, hey bro, let's bust these dips out of some more. If I send them a pic like got these weights right here, what I need to do with them, they're gonna bounce back with something else, and they may be like, hey, this and this and this. But when you have someone that don't give a shit about that, man, no, you just bouncing energy off of nothing.
Right.
So
Okay. Well, okay, so we talking about health and
Mhm.
wellness and health being wealth. Do you guys think vitamins help in any ways?
so
In
my
your
thing on
professional
that
opinion.
my thing on that is this. Um your best nutrients and vitamins are going to come from the source itself, which is the actual plant
Mm-hmm.
or fruit. Whatever that you can't get from that, if you need extra, then you might pop
Yeah.
a granulated vitamin. But I still, before I go to the vitamins per se, you still have other things like spices and herbs.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Things like honey and things like that that you can use
Turmeric.
instead of just the actual granulated vitamin that they done compressed.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do things that you crush
Right.
in a crucible. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to they done pressed it up and manufactured it. But yeah, to that, I do believe in getting the vitamins and the minerals. The protein too. You gotta have a recovery period when you're exercising as well.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. And you need rest anyway as you age.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the key, man. Youth in a bottle would be water.
Mm-hmm.
And your bed is a secret ingredient. It's like a gym. I mean,
agree.
sleeping. Get your rest.
I got terrible sleeping habits.
You got so surprised. They say I read this article in New England Journal of Medicine that says that people don't realize how much sleep it revitalizes a lot of things in your body. It helps rejuvenate a lot of things within your body if you sleep. And some people say, well, you only need 5 hours. They actually say you actually do need 8 hours to rejuvenate your body to get the nutrients and stuff back in your body. It said then your body is working on other things while you're sleeping. Working on stomach,
Metabolism
stuff in your stomach and all that stuff. She said so. Sleep is a very important thing. Water and sleep are very important things to help you heal your body, where you don't necessarily need vitamins. And I've always said to myself, just because I've read New England Journal of Medicine for a long time, your body has ways of healing itself anyway.
Oh yeah. It's an organism that's always continuously reproducing, to be honest with you. That's why when you get cuts, it scabs up, and that skin reproducing itself with the red blood cells and white blood cells and all of those other things. Which is why I'm like, you definitely need to continuously drink the water because that helps produce that, and that helps flush certain things out. You definitely need to be sweating as you age because that can make your skin look better, clearer, and that gets the toxins out too. That's the best way to detox almost, is to physically create enough energy to burn it out of you. How awesome is that? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? People be scared to sweat, scared to shit, excuse me, and I'm like, what's wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
You want that in you?
Slick says I don't sleep. She don't sleep much at all. And I think if she slept more, she'd probably feel a lot better. But yeah, I don't think people realize them toxins got to come out your body. That's what peeing and shitting is for. Yeah. Toxins, they can't just sit up in your body forever. You got to be regular and get it out your body. I don't know why people are so afraid of doing that. I love it.
Well, I mean, some people just they think it makes them feel dirty when actually you're just getting rid of
me up.
Hey, bro, I don't want it in me. I can tell you that. I don't want it. I don't want to be bagged up.
Man, I definitely err on the side of being regular as possible because I know people they be having to take stuff to keep there. I'm like, man, I don't want to live like that.
Dulcolax and all this other shit, Colace. And I'm like, man, see, I work in the pharmacy, so I can tell you. But what you really need is you need some fiber, man, some flax seeds, maybe some prunes, a raisin here and there. Which, speaking of snacking around, y'all, just some cinnamon and some oatmeal and some raisins, and I'm good to go. I'm about to have that in the morning. I'm letting y'all know. Snacking on that. Might have a motherfucking biscuit with that bitch. Some roasted potatoes in the morning or something like that. I'm carbing up. That's all I know.
Right.
Indeed. Hey, man, I'm having fun. Y'all just don't know.
About physical health, we need to go and slide over to that mental health.
Yeah.
And getting counseling.
As you age, though, you do need to get that mind right.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them lose it, though, because they're getting closer and closer to that golden years, and they just, one, aren't prepared. Two, didn't know that they would be in the situation that they in. And a lot of the times I see they don't even know how to describe it. Because it's not like you wanted to be into that. It's not like you projected that, and when it's happening, you've never been through it.
It's the biggest taboo in the black community, man, is mental health, man. Because immediately people are going to associate mental health with you being crazy. That's the first thing, you know, you're going to the crazy house, you're going to. So I definitely, man, and I see it so much. I mean, what you see it too, working downtown, man. We have
I can show you some mental.
We have the
ain't
bird's eye view of how bad the mental health situation is. But I mean, not even only that. I mean, I'm quite sure you have a close friend or a family member, man, who struggles with those issues. But that mental health is serious, man.
And not only mental health of needing counseling, either mental health on the fact that people don't realize that your brain is a muscle that needs to be exercised.
Yeah.
Reading, writing, all the time.
Cognitive skills.
It surprised me how many people don't read. Like, you just read something and exercise that muscle to keep it fluent and keep it, you know, keep it going, and so you can recognize things and you won't be as forgetful as you would be if you didn't read.
So, the number one games for the aging and our beautiful elders, they have like crossword puzzles, word searches, because they have to look for that. What you call those? Oh, solitaire type games. You know, games that's going to make them have to try to memorize something. Right. They have this new thing. I call this the Mahajans or something like this. It's an Asian game, and it looked like basically you're stacking things on top of each other. You know what I'm saying? So. And I think it's kind of cute, you know what I'm saying? They got them on their cell phones now. But me, I'm kind of like old school. So what I'm going to start doing with my pops is painting and coloring. Like, we're going to take it off of this phone.
You know who does this stuff well? The Asian community. They do with the aging stuff when it comes to aging and older adults in the Asian community. They do that Tai Chi. They do Sudoku.
Yoga,
they do all this
all
stuff to keep their cognitive, you know, keep themselves, their mind working right.
My
and
mom
their
was taking Tai Chi. Flow like water.
I try to definitely do it like on the black side, you know, because my daughter, she wants to learn how to play, you know, card games or whatever. So I try to like do that with her a lot to kind of, and puzzles.
Strip tongue. Oh my, that was just me doing strip.
You know what's a good game to play them for cognitive is card games. Once you teach it all the other stuff, is solitaire. I play solitaire all the time on my phone.
Yeah, solitaire, that be on everybody damn screensaver laptop. Like, man, y'all ain't doing no work today. Y'all just playing solitaire. Yeah, you know how that go. But man, I think the main thing is we said the word before, but like, people want to age gracefully. At least I do. Have some grace with it. You know what I'm saying? Some respect with it. Like, meaning you respect yourself. You respect what you're putting in your body. You respect what you're doing to yourself. When we're younger, we don't necessarily think of that as much. Oh, we got some time. Oh, I'm going to party hard. My nigga, you can't drink more than me. I ain't past that. All you know what I'm saying? When you're older, it need to be more like, hey, man, you know, might want to put that down and pick this up. And how about you try this? This is more for longevity. You know what I'm saying? And, I want to surround myself. That's why, Chezzy, when you said you had some friends that were some personal trainers, I'm sure they gave you good advice, something that you can use.
Absolutely.
Tired of being around a room full of gangsters and criminals, and they be like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? You know, if you put some ice in a Pyrex pot and throw it in a microwave, what you going to get, you know? Tell me something good, you know what I'm saying? Tell me something I can use, you know? We have to start passing on topics and knowledge, you know what I'm saying, like this with each other, so that we can actually influence each other to do it and to maintain. Like, we be passing on our vices, you know what I'm saying, more than life's jewels and gems and valuable lessons, man.
We passing on a lot of bullshit, man.
And it's like, what I don't want to do, I don't want to have no regrets of what I could be asking my elders that are still here, because as we get older, like, man, my uncle was telling me, man, he went to almost like 6 or 7 funerals. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, like, sad to say, we could do the same because we crashing out, but for us that have aged, you know what I'm saying, we want to prolong that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he can't talk to a lot of his peers now, so he got to start talking to me.
Yeah.
So while we still up,
definitely
been able to do what we do.
Definitely got more good days behind us than ahead of us. So gotta make sure we, you know, Live the
Boy,
best,
man,
live
that
the
just-
best, live the best that we can, man. You know, and like
We
you
ain't no
said,
golden
man,
girls. Not no thank you for being a friend. But I can see it on the horizon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why do I know the other parts of the song too? Your heart is true. Your boy, look here.
that was a pivotal show.
And I threw a party though, and invited everyone I knew. Would you come, laugh? Okay.
Lab on
These
DJ, Lab
niggas
on
think that you can
DJ.
see.
Yeah.
And the card attached would say though, what it gonna say though, man?
Thank you for being
Dun, 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 dun,
I'm gonna definitely come. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lab on
I
DJ
think it's the
that
protein,
thing, man.
y'all.
Got you lit. Got you crunk.
Okay, Chezzy,
What's
you
that?
got anything for the ladies, man?
I do, man. I do, man.
boy.
You know, just a little
I
something, man. I
do
thought about,
love
man. When moving on from relationships, man. I always remember, man. You can't date the next like you dated your ex, man. You know what I'm
Can't date the
saying?
next
So you know,
like
you
you
can't date the next like you dated your ex, man. When moving on, man, you gotta start over, man. You can't be bringing no baggage from the previous relationships into the new relationship, man. You know, y'all create your own set of luggage.
No
man.
bag lady, no legend of bag of Vance, none of that, y'all. Men
That's
and
it,
women
man.
don't come up in that other relationship with none extra but money,
Yeah,
possibly.
that's what I got for y'all, man. Can't date your next like you date your ex, man.
I like that. You got
But you
anything
can learn
left?
from the mistakes.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
If the
yeah.
luggage got holes in them,
Oh man.
So-
sick.
you need to peep in there and see what's going on. I'm just saying, you might not want to bring the same baggage,
I'm
but you
telling
still
you,
need to
bruh.
make sure you don't bring the holy baggage.
I know that's right.
Hey,
Man, talk about it.
For our listeners that tuned in a little bit later and didn't get to hear the explanation, I'm dressed like this because as you age, you start to see this a little bit more when you start getting your checkups and where you going. People start looking like this in your circle. So they're going to be like, hey, Mr. Dickens, it's good to see you today. You know, I got your chart. So this is what happens when you get older, y'all. Get used to it. We're going to be back next Monday, though,
For sure,
8
for sure.
o'clock. Don't stop. We out there, bitch.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Shit. Grams leaders CC's pounds. Close cash, close call, close encounter, close up, pounds of liters of grams, get your dose up, cut this up, host up, hey, get dosed up. This for them voted like the move and make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates, for them folk they can't relate. I gotta elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb, and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in no trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that true serum hooked directly to your vein. Hey, this is for my people. Tune in, catch a close up, close up, close up, a close up, grams of it. Tune in, liters of it, close up, pounds of it. Pounds of it, yeah, grams of it, liters of pounds.